So before you can use Unity, you will need a Unity ID. And to do that, go to unity.com and it looks something like this. Go up to the top right-hand corner and there is a create a Unity ID option. And I already have one, but I'll behave like I am creating one. And so you can either create an account using the traditional email password username format, or you can just use your Google account provided by the school. Click on the G down here at the bottom. Choose the account that you're going to use, and then you you should be signed in automatically, and it should set you up. Now, there could be a few questions it asks. I already have an account with this user and email, so it's possible there are a few steps that you'll have to do, but that's the basic idea. So once you have your Unity ID, then we can proceed to the next step. And probably the easiest thing to do, in my mind, is just type in Unity download and Google search it because it'll take you straight to the right spot. So download Unity, and then you're going to go to the Unity Hub. We're going to download the Unity Hub, which the Hub is just a quick way of managing your installations, and it allows you to license and manage downloads and installs easily in your projects. So I'm going to download the Unity Hub. As soon as it's done downloading, I can click on it and I can run that, and this should go pretty quickly. So this particular install will go quickly, and then you can click finish because this isn't actually the Unity editor, this is just the Unity Hub. So notice that right away it says, hey, you have no valid license. And the first thing you'll want to do is sign in to your Unity ID. So we'll sign in. Use whatever method you use to create your account. So Google Helen Tester at lebanon.k12.org.us, and then password. Okay, and we'll allow that. So now the option to activate a new license is available. So I'm going to activate a new license, and I'll do that by just clicking that button. I'm going to choose Unity Personal, and then I don't use this in a professional capacity if I'm a student. So we'll just click that. Now the school actually does own pro licenses, but for you at home, the easiest thing to do is choose Unity Personal and then not using it in a professional capacity. And then you can click done. And notice that there's the license and it applied it. And this should work for more than one machine even. But you may need to return a license if you bump up against how many installations you can do. So now that I have that done, I'm going to exit out of preferences, and you'll notice here's a project, there's a learning tab, a community tab, and installs. And so the first thing you will need to do once you actually have your license is you need to install a version of the Unity editor. We're going to go up here to add, and I would choose the recommended release. There are many options, but usually the recommended release is a good choice. And notice it's an LTS, which is long-term support version, so it's a good choice for not having to worry about constantly changing features and such. So I'm going to hit next, and it's going to install Microsoft Visual Studio Community unless you want to use a different editor. It's not actually required to do this, but it's definitely a useful editor. Notice that it's got a little bit of download size attached to it. You probably won't need any of this other stuff. I'm going to click uncheck documentation. But if you ever do need these things, you can come back and update your installation. Documentation is nice, but if you're concerned about download size, you can always rely on the documentation online. So then we'll click Next, and you'll go and read this license just to make sure you're okay with it. This is the Visual Studio license, since it's from a separate vendor. There's their own license. And once you've read that, then you can click that and done. And now what it's going to do is start downloading the files, and you'll see the progress of that download right here. And you can go work on other things right now. You can go explore the Learn tab and see what's out here. You can go look at what the different communities are that are available. Like there's forums and help and answers and various other things that you can go look at. But eventually it's going to be done downloading, and this is going to take a short period of time. And so I'm going to pause here and we'll just hyperspeed through this, and then I'll pick up as soon as it's done. So after your installation is finished, then you can create a new project. And I actually have multiple installations because I'm back on my main computer. If I uh, look, I can choose which version I want to install it. You probably won't need to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and create a new installation here, and I'll call this test project. And it is doing some work in the background. Okay, so now once it's done doing its work, then things will speed up a little bit. So I'm going to go find a place to put it. You would want to put it, if you're working on a school computer, make sure you put it into your H drive. But for now, I'll go ahead and just stick it into my documents folder, and we'll select that. And so now I'm going to create that project. This will take a little bit of time. You'll notice that the window disappeared and there's some work happening, and it's going to be building the project, and this does take some time. So you'll need to be patient. The first time through, it will take a little bit of time. But once it's done, then you should have the editor pop open for you. And once again, I'll let this do its thing, and then we'll come back. All right, you can see that now it popped up on my other monitor, but the Unity editor pops up as soon as it's done doing its work. And now we are in a very, very, very basic scene. And that will be the end of this particular video. You just want to make sure that your Unity editor has installed correctly. And once you see this window, then you should be good to go.